Morning to all. We'll start the session now. Madam is already there. I would request Mamta Madam to please welcome Madam and all the audience here and give a brief introduction of Madam also before we start the session. Over to you, Madam.
Thank you, Vishwanath sir. Good morning to one and all present here. I think it's a wonderful morning today. I'm sure you're all excited and eager to be a part of International Yoga Day. I welcome you all to this session. I would also like to welcome Mr. Vijay sir, who has given us the Zoom platform for this session. I would like to extend my warm welcome to our guest of honor today, Dr. Anjum Padyal. Dr. Anjum Padyal is an assistant professor at the Department of PE Sports Sciences at Deshbandhu College, University of Delhi. She's a topper from LNIPE Gwalior 1992 batch. She was a gymnast and bagged 8th rank in the Suzuki World Cup 2006 at Tokyo, Japan. She was appointed as an observer for Indian contingent in Asian Indoor Games. She was appointed as a sports psychologist for World University Games 2019 in Italy. She has many international research papers to her credit. She has written many books on yoga and stress management for Delhi University curriculum. Two of her books, Encyclopedia for Gym Trainers and Martial the Mind, are bestsellers on Amazon. She's a certified YTTC 500 hours yoga trainer from Yoga Alliance USA and has registered more than 10,000 hours. Welcome, ma'am, and thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. I would request you to take the session forward.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you. Good morning to
One
all
small
and
announcement before Madam starts. We'll be continuing with the session, our regular session, after the talk. Maybe the time will be now, I think Madam will take 40 to 50 minutes. Thereafter, we'll start our yoga session. Madam may join us or you can log off after this session because I know you are very busy. Thank you. You can log off after this.
thank you so much. I would love to join, but I have my college program also. Uh, so today we are going to talk about the health and happiness through yoga. Thank you all of you to invite me and for taking out time on such a precious day of International Day of Yoga to understand how we can improve our health and happiness. COVID. Yes, this is the pandemic of this century. Learned a lot, suffered a lot, feared a lot, and now this is the time where we can learn how to not only save ourselves but also to motivate people to become more and more healthy so that we can remain happy. Losing so many life, losing so many dear and near ones, that has left us all in shock, not only in shock, sorrow, sadness, grief, anger, depression, anxiety, everything. So it is very important to understand what is health. According to WHO, health is not only mere the absence of disease. So it is not only the absence of disease, but it is it is also to have the energy to continue your occupational commitments, your professional commitments, your personal commitment, as well as your social commitment. With said that, we as an Indian talk about the spiritual path also. We talk about the spiritual commitment also, and we talk about the spiritual achievements also. Spirituality. Spirituality doesn't mean only, and it is not at all correlated with religion. This is misunderstood or misinterpreted. Spirituality is to know about your own soul, to be truthful about your own soul, to be truthful towards your own soul. We cheat, we break the rules, we do all kind of nonsense, and then we think nobody is watching us. My message to everyone: somebody is watching. Somebody is absolutely watching, and that's your soul. So, having a pure soul is more important than following any religion. That's why I would love to address this gathering and invite you to go for the mental health, because let us talk about the aspects of health. What are the dimensions of health? So, when we talk about the dimension of health, The mental health, I think, with all the dimensions, take place the first, the priority. Why I am turned out to be the mental health coach and turn out my all education towards psychology and brain because I was suffered from the paralytic attack during my pregnancy. Although I was a gymnast, I was a national gymnast since 1987. I was 3 times gold medalist, aerobic gymnast, trampoline, tumbling. We have introduced in India national. That was the first national we have played in trampoline. And within a span of 2.5 months pregnancy, I got paralytic. No health, no happiness. Almost I was on a verge of, losing my life, losing my daughter, um, losing everything. And that time I have realized, till then, we have been taught about healthy body keeps healthy mind. But when the body becomes paralytic, the body is trapped with some disease, how a person is going to conquer that situation? That is only through mind. I was so much in shock that medical sciences, they didn't have any answer for my medical condition. They were experimenting with all kind of testings, all kind of medication, and uh, there was no answer. And even after delivery, when I was in the same pathetic condition, I was left out by the medical sciences because they said our task was delivering a baby. Now it's only about your own body, how it is going to recover. And let me tell you, medical sciences always say like this only. They are motivating, promoting, go for bariatric surgery for obesity, go for knee replacement, go for this and that, and you know, cosmetic surgery, what not. But after surgery, what happens? After surgery, if your recovery is not appropriate or not at the level, the medical sciences always step back and they say it is your body which is not cooperating. It is your body which is reacting like this. So it is always about your body. So when the body is trapped and you are not happy and you don't know how to get up from that bed, and whole life you cannot stay like that at the age of 23 having a little daughter, then I turned out to be the strongest mind, or with the support of my family, my husband, my friends, even they have helped me out. And through making my mind strong, I could move my body. So all our health and happiness is actually correlated with our mind. It always starts from your brain. So let me share my PPT for today, and let me explain you. Let me explain you what is it's all about, the health and happiness. So, the importance of yoga. Sir Arvindo, and how I cured myself. Let me begin from there. Gymnastics, forget it. I was international aerobic trainer, forget it. I used to take 8 hours aerobic classes, just forget it because I couldn't move. So from where I have turned back to yoga, which I have learned in class third. So since class third to seventh, I was practitioner of yoga, and because I was too flexible, everybody suggested me to go for the gymnastics. So it was easily converted from one sports to another sports, or one specialization to other specialization. But after having all degrees, I had to turn back towards the yoga because nothing can be done. No other kind of fitness regime can be followed. So through yoga, I have started breathing exercise when I was totally bedridden and lying down. Then I have started moving my limbs through the concentration and focus from the mind. So, Sir Aurobindo quoted that yoga is a process of all out, all round development of human being. So, when we turn about this definition to develop, it is we call holistic development of a personality or person. That is very important. Having all kind of, watching all type of immoral acts by people. Even in this pandemic, the people were selling the 15,000 injection in 1 lakh 15,000 oxygen cylinder, ambulance people, they have, charge whatnot. So this was not the time to, have profit or earn profit, because the other person was in lurch, was in very critical condition. You can't take the advantage as a human being. You are not supposed to take an advantage of, somebody's very fragile moment or very fragile situation. So yoga, through yoga, I want everybody to develop. First of all, we need to become human. So excellence with humane. That's my vision. We can achieve anything in life, but do not leave the humanity. That is very important. So if we want that type of human species in our earth, so the mantra is for overall development of all aspects, all dimension of health and wellness, we need to turn out towards the yoga. What is a goal of life? The goal of life is a happy life. Everybody want to be happy, but in this happiness, in this race of happiness, we are losing the happiness. First of all, how we can achieve this happiness, that is the building block of the life: a healthy body, a sound mind, and a happy soul. That is the mantra, that is the aim of the life. We want a healthy body, perfectly fine. We want a sound mind which can have all kind of right decisions, and through which we can enjoy all aspects of life true. And the happy soul, where we can be true, truthful towards our soul, where we should not hide anything from anyone. We should not lie. We cannot, you know we should lead a very pure life. For that we need a very happy soul and healthy soul. So circle of life is, in fact, it's only about body, mind, and soul. So let's cultivate the life. Cultivation of life. You can help you to cultivate your body, mind, and soul. So Bhagavad Gita, phrase 6.16 and 17 say, O Arjun, this yoga is neither attained by who overeats or fasts, nor by who sleeps less or over. So भागवत गीता के अनुसार कृष्णा ने अर्जुन से कहा, Krishna said to Arjun that it is not about overdoing anything in yoga. Yoga doesn't mean you need to be perfect only in advanced asanas, then you can call yourself a yoga practitioner or yoga. Just a minute. PPT is not displayed, but I'm
Yeah.
sharing my screen.
It's not yet come on the screen. Just I wanted to remind you that's all. Okay, please continue. We'll see.
Okay, so what you can see on my screen?
It is blank. Could anybody see there? Vijay, are you able
No,
to see
sir.
that?
Can't say. No.
No, sir. No, sir. No. No,
No,
it's
we
blank.
can't.
Okay, just a minute. Okay. That's great. You have informed me. I thought everybody is able to watch it. Now, can you watch? Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. So Arjun said, overdoing is not yoga. What we have misinterpreted here. For past many years, when we were missing about, the yoga was almost obsolete from the society because everybody thought first, yoga or yogi means to leave everything and opt a very saint life, that is yoga. Secondly, they thought about, and still people think about, that performing and advanced asanas are very essential in yoga. It's not like that. Overdoing of anything is not not recommended by as a yoga. So according to Gita, who sleeps less or over? Some people are, they are just not only overdoing, or they meditating for hours and hours. That's too much. Sometimes you will feel the people have become insane after doing so much of yoga and meditation, because you cannot control your secretion of hormones, and hormone imbalance can be when you are unhealthy also, and when you are overused, using your body also, your systems also. In sports we call it overuse syndrome. So many athletes, they suffer a lot. People think about that every athlete is very very healthy. In day before yesterday, also in international conference, we were discussing about this only. Are every sports person is every sports person healthy? No, they are suffering a lot. So over, because that is a overuse syndrome. So in yoga, we need to tell people and motivate them to begin. It's a journey. It's a way of life. Let's begin with the simple asanas. Yes, you are obese, you are 80, 90 kgs, you can't do Padmasana. We are not asking for you, and you should not. Just tell them, if they are not even comfortable sitting down, we can go for the chair yoga. But at least let them motivate them to at least start. So that's why I would like to appreciate and congratulate Dr. Vishnath that he has started this group and they are practicing every day, because practice makes a man perfect. But what we are displaying a monkey yoga, I always say. We are so hyping up the advanced asanas that people are not able to, and they are not ready to begin the journey. Whenever you suggest anyone yoga, they will say, I'm not flexible, I can't do it. So according to Bhagavad Gita, yoga is not that you overdo anything. Just you start, you begin and follow the path, and start your life, your journey towards yoga. So philosophy of yoga, a yogi should conquer the mind, and conquering the mind is important for everyone, to control all kind of pattern, obesity, overeating, so they cannot control. Fasting, people sometimes they are even not eating for 2 3 4 days. Is it healthy? Just for detoxification, it's fun. For detoxification, it's fine. But people, they are missing their meals because of their routine in the office. They have to run, they have to rush, and they leave the breakfast, they leave everything, and straight away they are eating at 2 o'clock. So this type of fasting is not fruitful. It's going to harm. Arthritis and gout, they are the byproduct of fast. Having a longer distance between two meals. Ayurveda is saying, and they are proving it. So fasting is also it has to be done in a systematic manner. Sleeping. Now, if in pandemic, the bad thing is the students, the youth, they have more access, and more access to the screen. They are the longer duration, longer hours, and they are missing the sleep. They are sleeping at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So according to you are, when you are hampering your biological clock, it is going to harm your body and mind, thinking process. And yes, about the speaking, when somebody speak badly with anyone, either he is not rested properly, he is irritated, or something is going with his mind, with his thought, that he or she is irritated. So it is all about that yoga helps people to control over their patterns of different processes we are going through every day. So what is yoga? Yoga is a harmony between body, mind, and soul through conscious learning. That is a healthy learning. Right now, what we are promoting conscious living. We are promoting conscious eating. When people come for obesity treatment to me, I tell them to eat consciously because they are watching TV and they are just eating. What they are eating and how much they are eating, they don't have that control over. They are not thinking even. And what happens, exactly what happens, how people gain 100 kg, 200 kg, 150 kg, because the connect with digestive system and brain, that is hampered, that is disconnected. The hypothalamus is responsible to give us the feeling of fuller feeling. What we feel whenever we are having a very tasty food, we are having a, we are enjoying the party. Even then, there is a limitation when we say, "Oh my God, I am full. Now I can't eat. Now I can't drink." But with this, the connectivity with hypothalamus, the connection breaks down, and people, they don't even feel fuller. So they hog, they eat, and then comes the emotional eating. The emotional eating is now, it's a, it's upcoming major issue, because people are emotionally in setback, they are emotionally disturbed, and we are confined to our homes. Then people are they have started overeating it. So emotional eating is again very dangerous for the health of people. That's why the healthy living, the conscious living is very important. And conscious eating, conscious thinking. What are you thinking? What are you watching? Previously, the Gandhi said, "Purana dekho, purana bolo, purana suno." That's it. This is the life. This is the mantra. So five top reasons of yoga. What's the five top reasons? That is physical fitness. Physical fitness is very important to improve upon, because you are a human being and you have to move your body. You have some of the attributions and contributions towards your body to be used, how much it has to be used. 8 hours job we have to do. So to improve overall health, 58% people do the yoga. For the stress relief, people turn out towards the yoga. That is very important. And for general conditioning, then comes the flexibility. To improve flexibility, even we tell our bodybuilders, our power lifters to go and attend the yoga session at least twice in a week, so that they become flexible, because rigid muscles can be injurious. So flexibility not only improves our range of motion, but also helps us to save us from the injuries. The hard thing, it breaks very easily, but if it is a flexible thing, it comes back to the shape again and again. So this is very important reason why one should go ahead for the yoga. So core benefits of yoga: core increasing sense of space, supporting weight loss, adding your strength, flexibility enhancement, improvement of your balance, easing stress, blood circulation, and enhancing your focus. Now, when we are talking about the focus, let me talk about the mental health from here. What are the attributions of the mental health? The mental health is depend upon the strong mind. If you want to make a mind strong, then it is very essential that you uh, have the quality of confidence, courage, control, and purpose. The confidence. What is the confidence? How it will come? If we say to the youth, be confident, don't get afraid, is it going to happen like that? No way. When we go to the Olympics, when we go to the World Championships, our students, our athletes, they work 4 years, day and night, sacrificing all personal life, not attending any event of their family functions. They know how why they are here, but still we need sports psychologists over there with them, because the subconscious mind that gives them the thought of question mark, whether I'm going to win, whether I'm going to lose. If I lose, the next time I won't get chance to be selected. So the mental health is very important from brain. And if at that time we are saying them, be strong, be confident, you will win the medal, it is not going to help like this. Everybody want to be confident, but confidence is not the attribution which can come only through the speeches. What gives you the confidence? According to yoga, prana is our adhar, that is vayu, oxygen. So if you have more oxygen, you can have more nutrients, and then the blood can circulate that oxygen and nutrient to the cellular level. And we are made up of cell. We are the cell body. Our cell has soma. We are the soma. We have mitochondria. So every cell needs, requires oxygen. How yoga help to gain confidence? Who knows about the Veerbhadra Asana? We all have heard about the Veerbhadra Asana. What it does to your body. Why it has named as a Veerbhadra Asana and we call it a warrior pose? Because warrior pose is a chest opening asana. When you are standing in a warrior pose, then the oxygen inhalation, the lung capacity, the total lung capacity, what we call a vital lung capacity, the residual lung capacity, it enhances if you practice regularly. So right now during the COVID, the problem was oxygen inhalation.
PPT is lost now.
PPT मैंने बंद कर दिया है. Now
Okay.
we are on discussion only.
Great,
So
okay.
yeah, so the oxygen was so important for our of course for our life. If we had the more residual volume, what is residual volume? Residual volume is the reservoir. Do you know when anybody can has been anyone has been strangulated, they fight for 2 to 3 minutes minimum. The oxygen supply is cut, but what makes them to be alive till 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, that is their residual volume, the reservoir we have inside the body. And when inside the body all oxygen is turning out to the carbon dioxide, that is the time the reservoir helps to the maximum. So one, it's a aim to have more vital capacity, vital lung capacity. And second, we must have more and more residual volume so that whenever any situation occur, what happens in stress and anxiety? We start inhaling deeply. We start feeling sweating. The first reaction of the body is we start feeling hotness. The body temperature rises up whenever we are in stress and anxiety, and then we start doing the shallow breathing. These leads to the more carbon dioxide inside the body, and if we have low lung capacity, we will be trapped in the attacks, what we call panic attacks, what we call anxiety attacks. So yoga, through yogasana, one by one we can enhance our each system. So through Veerbhadra Asana, we enhance our confidence, we enhance our focus and concentration, we enhance oxygen capacity, oxygen carrying capacity of blood, and that gives us the courage. When the body is strong, that gives us the confidence, and the courage is to to take the challenge positively, to take the challenge bravely, and life is a name of challenge. Life will always throw you, throw some situation or the other that challenges you. And challenge can be conquered only through the confidence and courage. Then comes the control. If you want to control your life, what I call control your destiny, control your body, control your mind, control your destiny. You can easily control your destiny if you have a healthy mind. What is mind? Do you know the difference between the brain and mind? The brain is a physical organ. We can feel it, we can have it, but mind is not visible. Mind is made up of thoughts. And when we talk about the thought, we have 10,000, 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day. एक दिन में, in a one day. It's an ocean. It's an ocean of thoughts because our brain never sleeps. It thinks and thinks and rethinks. But the tragedy is 95% thoughts are repeated. So we keep on thinking the same thing again and again and again. And out of these total thoughts, from 12,000 to 60,000, depend upon how much your brain is working and you are in a thought process, 80% thoughts are negative. We don't know about it, but we have made our society so negative. Don't do this, don't do this. If you don't achieve this, it will happen. We have fed our youth so much in negativity that their subconscious mind is now trained for the negative things only. When they come for the counseling, it is very difficult for us to make them understand what is positivity. They are in question of their own ability and self-esteem because all the teachers and the family, they are just telling them they are of not worth. If they don't do hard work the way we are guiding, they are going to fail. These are the words what impact the mind. We are using it so easily and abundantly. Sometimes parents are comparing two kids, comparing with other kids, giving them all kind of examples and life stories of successful people. What do you mean? That means you are feeding him not positive thought. You are feeding him your the fear of failure. So courage and confidence is very important to control the destiny. And if you want the youth and yourself to control the destiny, first you need to control your mind, your thoughts. If your thoughts are negative, then you can't perform. So to change your thoughts, you need to focus and concentrate what are you thinking. And for that, if I go to the little bit deep physiology, let me tell you the happiness, how it is correlated. There is a difference between the pleasure and the happiness, where people are confused with what is what type of a joyful feeling they are, after getting, after achieving anything, any substance. They feel that it is happiness, but it is pleasure. So let me make you understand there is a difference between the pleasure and happiness. Happiness is a state of mind. If you are in a state of happiness, you will remain happy, may what come. But what we are teaching our youth, that is pleasure. Achieve this, you will be happy. No, that's why youth is always questioning our generation. You were telling me that if I achieve this, if I get admission in engineering college, I will be happy, but I am not. After that, you said when you get a job in corporate with a huge package of 18 lakh or 25 lakh, I will be happy, but I am not. Because these the pleasure is correlated with the senses, with our five senses. If we look at something, we want it, that I need this, I need to purchase this, and then when we purchase it, we become very happy. But after some time, what happens? We don't know where is that t-shirt, where is that purse, where they are lying. We need to buy something else. Now we are again searching online what we want. So this is pleasure. Anything you are eating in the restaurant, eating a particular dish, buying, purchasing, shopaholic, these are giving you the pleasure because pleasure secretes dopamine. Dopamine is a happy hormone, but it is a addictive hormone also, and it is very short lived. So pleasure is very short lived. So when dopamine secretes, Very fast it goes away from the bloodstream, and then again we have that urge to repeat that activity again. Drug addiction, drug abuse, shopaholic, any kind of obesity where people are eating, hogging a particular type of maybe burger, maybe pizza, whatever habits we develop, maybe chocolates, dark chocolate, Pepsi, Cola, alcohol, smoking, tobaccos, these all depend upon the dopamine hormone, and which will give you the pleasure. That's why all, whatever, I won't say youth, whoever is using the drug substances, hash, weed, whatever they are using, it gives them the pleasure for 3 to 4 hours, 5 hours, what they call kick. They get it for a certain time, then the dopamine really, decreases, and again they want to go and repeat that activity. That is the problem with pleasure. So we should learn about the happiness, about the being in a state of happy. That's a mental state. And where you can watch the viral videos of on YouTube, where the very very deprived kids, they are playing happily. They are playing with mud, they are playing with stone, they are dancing, but they are happy. So happiness is not at all correlated with all the assets you are trying to grab or you are trying to achieve. For happiness, you must turn out to perform yoga, practice yoga daily, because that will help you to secrete what I called a happiness dose. The happiness dose from yoga is dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphin. These are happy hormone. And agar hum if we go to the philosophy of yoga, I will say, Aham Brahmasmi. The whole universe is within me. The happiness also that is inside me, because all the happy hormones are inside me. So for happiness, you don't need to go anywhere for the search of, I'm searching happiness, I'm not feeling. Just start practicing yogasana. The next asana I will recommend, Vipreet Karni Asana. The Vipreet Karni Asana, Shirshasana, I won't talk about the advanced asana. I'll talk about the Vipreet Karni Asana, which anybody can lie down and have, legs up with the support of wall even. But if you lie down 15 minutes in that pose only, because Sthir Sukhasana, asana in yoga, poses means, asana means you are still, you are still. So just be still on that, in that asana, and you will have all kind of secretion of happy hormones, because the blood flow against the gravity. The blood will flow towards your brain. When the brain get more oxygen, more nutrition, it can think better. The stress hormone cortisol, which is stuck, which is lying and stuck inside the brain folds because of the constant thinking, constant negative thinking, that can be released through these poses from there. And once the stress hormone is out from the brain, you will start feeling lighter, you will start feeling happy. And then, if the secretion of all the happy hormones can be maintained within 24 hours, repeating the yoga cycle every 60 minutes after 24 hours, the secretion of happy hormone won't finish in your body. And then you can remain in the state of happiness always. So that is why in yoga we call body as a vehicle. We use body as a vehicle. So to attain yama, niyama, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, samadhi, anything, you need to go for asanas. You need to use your body to perform those asanas and pranayam, and then you can detoxify your body, you can detoxify your mind, and as you can control your mind, your soul can be purified. Then the then you won't have that feeling of hoarding everything, gaining everything, attaining everything. In slowly and gradually, you will be so satisfied, so happy in whatever you have, that you can concentrate your brain in more productive work rather than just calculating with each other, जिसको हम हिंदी में बोले किसकी गाड़ी किससे बड़ी. किसका घर किससे बड़ा, हम उस लेवल से we can go up to the superior level, and slowly and gradually yoga is a union of body, mind and spirit, body, mind and soul, and हिंदी में जो हम फिलॉसफी में बोलते हैं आत्मा का परमात्मा से मिलन। सो वो तभी होगा जब हम इन सांसारिक भाग दौड़ से थोड़ा सा अपने आप को स्टेबल करेंगे। और पेंडेमिक का अगर हमने बहुत कुछ खोया है, लेकिन अगर हमने कुछ लर्न किया है तो ये दैट we have to look inside, we should have time to be with ourselves, and this lockdown period, whatever we have served for the country and for humanity, to save the humanity, that has given us an opportunity to have a break, because health is more important for the happiness rather attaining anything, rather achieving anything. So that's all from my side. For health and happiness through yoga, because if you practice, you just forget everything, any benefit of flexibility, of strength, of courage, confidence, you just start practice. That is the mantra for yoga, because it always says yoga is a way of life. Start living, start practicing 1 hour yoga, and then you can attain any state of happiness, where the euphoria, we call it a euphoria, where you have seen all the yogis son in Banaras, in Rishikesh, everywhere they are in euphoria. So that's the way you can attain. And there are so many, so much physiology involved in this, because when you use body, then the pineal gland, the secretion of different hormones, which can help all the hypothalamus, amygdala, limbic center to forget everything, to forgive everyone, and then you can be on peace and happiness. Thank you so much for patient hearing. Now question and answer, question rounds, please.
Thank you, Dr. Anjum. It was a really interesting topic on health and happiness. Both are very important in life.
Yes.
As I said, definitely pleasure is very meager component of happiness. We all feel that, pleasure is happiness, but it is very meager. Maybe 4 to 5%. Very short-lived.
Yeah.
The more than that, engagement in life is very important. Engage in your professional life, engage with your family life, engage with any, habits or art, music or anything that gives you more than the pleasure. And then more than that, what I mean is meaningful life. Meaningful life, live for the society, for the bigger dimension of life, community, do some social work, do some donations. All these things will, give more happiness than the pleasure.
Even to my students, what I guide them, you don't have money, you can't donate anything, don't worry. You just donate 30 minutes of yours, go to the underprivileged children, play with them. Take one football from the college, take a badminton racket from the college, go take a music system and let them do the aerobics, let them do the yoga. You can at least give them that happiness, that through exercise, because they don't know what is happy hormones, they don't know anything about it, they are deprived, they don't know, to touch that football, they wait for us to be in their vicinity, that they will come with the football and we will play. So these little things, if we don't, if we give back, if we try to give back to the society, whatever we attain, that is happiness. Because if once you have helped someone, whenever you remember that incident, you will smile, you will always smile, because you have seen someone to be satisfied and happy, you made someone to be happy. That gives you a permanent happiness instead of attaining anything.
Yeah, do something for the nature also. Go and plant some plants. Whenever you go and see those plants, you will feel happiness.
Exactly.
So all these things will remain permanently.
Because they become your kids. Yeah. When you take care of someone, it always gives you happiness, always secrete happy hormone to you.
If you go and watch some movie, that will be there for 1 or 2 days. But if you do something for the society or do something for the nature, it will remain in your mind always. That gives you permanent happiness.
Even street dogs, you just feed them once. Next day they will be with you. They will be with your door on your door. They will walk with you. If you go, you are going to the market. They become so loving to you. So just earn more and more love and affection. That's more important.
So we'll open up for the question and answer. If anybody has any question, please unmute yourself and ask Dr. Anju.
Yeah,
I have a question here.
Please. Revati, my daughter, madam.
Okay.
she's
Wow.
also she's also a yoga. No, she's also into YAC now, learning yoga from Esrasa. Anyway,
Okay.
she has some question about gymnasts, I think.
Uh,
Please
just
go ahead,
Hello.
ask,
Revati.
please.
Okay. Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
I'm a huge fan of gymnastics from a very long time. I've been doing some gymnastics when I was in, my high school. I would love to continue, no, or start over again. So, do you have any tips on where I can join, or how you
Uh,
started your gymnastic career?
where are you located?
I'm from Bangalore.
Bangalore. I'm not aware of the centers over there, but I will find it out and I'll let you know because I was in Delhi. So there was the Indira Gandhi National Stadium that was, inaugurated and prepared in
She wants to know
1982.
how you started this your career. How did you come into this? That,
Okay, I was reading a question, so I just missed. Okay, how I was watching 1982 Asian Games. Very frankly, that was the new TV came to our home, and the telecast was live. I was watching gymnastics. I was very flexible, or I was kind of a monkey also. I used to, do all kind of rolls and flips here and there. So everybody used to say, go to gymnastics. So when I saw 1982 Asian Games, so I said, okay, this is very fascinating, and gymnastics is a very fascinating game. Very fascinating sports. So I have just opted that I told my mother. My mother was a hockey captain from IP College, Delhi University. So I said I want to be gymnast. She said okay, fine. So she just find it out and she just got me admitted over there. So there I got all the national and international coaches, and from there I've started. I've started in 1986 because it 1982 I was only 10 years. It was very hard to travel and change 2 3 buses at that time and reach to the stadium. So when I was 1980, in 1986 I've started, and 87 I played my first national. I played 3 national at that time.
Okay, that's
great.
really nice.
Yeah, Rakesh has got some question. You can
yes,
Yeah.
ask Rakesh. It is very long to read
Long
all the
question. I was reading that only when she was asking. Which, so I thought she just want to start the
Rakesh is
gymnastics.
becoming a sadhaka now. You can see on his face.
no, it's not like that. It's not like that, sir. So actually,
Yeah.
when we told that that Olympics people leave everything, or almost everybody who is having target, they will do the same way. So what is the difference between the overdoing and how to know that we are not overdoing at the same time we are doing sadhana to achieve something? At the same
That,
time, this is one
yeah.
question.
Okay.
Second question is that so whether Sadguru kind of people, whether they have done whether they have overdone it or else they have did sadhana. Even so many sadhana sadhus in they leave everything and just do something, no. Again, common people like us also, we also achieve. If some people want to buy 10 kind of cars, that is their kind of
Yeah.
target, and so whether it is their sadhana, they want to earn money and buy the such things.
Yeah.
So, so how to know that we are not overdoing? Yes, sir.
Right. That's why my message to everyone is human excellence with humane. May you achieve, you want to achieve 10 cars. I'm very happy. I guide entrepreneur, I prepare entrepreneur, I tell them how to run a business. So focusing, the first you need to establish the purpose of your life. Once you establish your purpose of life, then you have to set the path, how much time you can devote, how much time you want to devote. That is again a sadhana for them. What is overdoing is when you are at that verge that you are harming yourself or you are harming others, like drug abuse in sports. That is harming yourself. That is overdoing. You want to achieve something, but do not harm yourself. This is a cheating from the other athlete who is not taking the dope. So that is how we set the path. And overdoing, there is a demarcation of overdoing. If Sadhguru has done something to his life and he has devoted, that's his choice. He's not harming anyone. That's his own personal choice. We cannot stop anyone to become sadhu sant, and we cannot ask everyone to become sadhu sant to opt the yoga. For him, yoga the achievement and the scale of yoga is something else. Sadhana is something else. But everybody cannot sit for 6 hours sadhana meditation. So we are having two type of population. Out of 100, 90 people are in some other profession, but for health and happiness we want them to attract and adopt yoga. But 10% they want to leave their family and they live like a yogi. They want to go in Himalayas or in some other way, with it jungle or farmhouses. And so it's their choice. It is not overdoing. But overdoing is when I am so rigid that I will make everyone to follow this type of life only. This is rigidness. This is overdoing. This is overindulging. Forcing people or forcing yourself. Unnecessary. That is overindulging.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Even how when we prepare Olympic people, they miss personal life only because they should not go for the abuse. Like if they go to attend a marriage function, then they are going to eat all kind of food which is not supposed to eaten for that particular purpose. That is the only purpose. They miss all the functions and everything because of, then they will come late. They may consume alcohol. Next day morning practice at 5 o'clock. They won't report. This is because of that timetable. But it is not that they will miss all the personal life over there.
Madam, I have one question.
Yes, yes.
I have one question. I heard that in the Western countries, the Sauna Yoga, Hatha Yoga, using the ropes, using the pulleys and all other artificial instruments, they are
Yes.
practicing yoga. It's kind of a by forceful yoga, like increasing
Yes.
temperature up to 45 degrees, sweating
Not
and all.
recommended. Yes.
Yeah, like what is your opinion about this using the pulleys, ropes and all?
That's why I invite all the people to join YTTC 500 Hours Yoga Alliance USA course. Sir, many people fight with me why you promote them. I am promoting that course. I'm not promoting them because that course has been, accredited and affiliated in 196 countries. If I have done any yoga degree from Uttarakhand University, Kerala, Bangalore, all the countries, they are not searching for my university and a person to be appointed as a yoga teacher in that. They always type, they Google yoga line because they know only that. They don't know the 10 name of the university which are doing, which are giving the degrees. So if uh, they want to appoint, they want to be with some yoga teacher, they are searching for YTTC 500 Hours Yoga Alliance US. That's why it is very essential for all of us to be certified and work internationally because they are selling anything on the name of yoga. You are talking just about the hot yoga. I have been to the hot yoga center in 2012 when I was in Los Angeles for my daughter's admission. 3 centers I have visited, all were stinking with the sweat because it's a wooden hot chamber, temperature is up, and then they all are sweating like anything, and they that was stinking. And I just came out. I told my daughter, this is what is this doing there, hot yoga? So all these kind of yoga can be stopped only when we all of us enter into the international market with hatha yoga. I teach only hatha yoga. I go for only hatha yoga. I catch a hold of those foreigners, those become my student, and tell them what is hatha yoga because that is the base. This is very essential to understand. We are on alarming stage. You are talking about only hot yoga. Have you not watched about beer yoga? Not heard? Go to the YouTube channel. They have started in UK beer yoga. Take a sip of beer and do the poser. So if हिंदी में मैं बोलूंगी, अगर हम अपनी संस्कृति को, अपने एसेट को नहीं संभालेंगे, इफ हम इंडिया के अंदर बैठकर अपनी यूनिवर्सिटी के ही गाने गाएंगे, वो लोग कहीं और पहुंच गए हैं. They have started in 1997 Yoga Alliance USA, now 2021. You just take my words, योगा हमारे हाथ से निकलता जा रहा है. गोट योगा, बियर योगा, हॉट योगा, what not. So if we all will not come up on this platform of international yoga, we are going to lose it very soon. Because
thank you,
इंडिया
madam.
में
One
तो
more
वैसे ही
question.
बहुत सारा हमारे controversies चलती रहती हैं इंडिया में.
Yeah, thank you, madam. One more question. After listening to your talk, you said that sports people will suffer a lot. And my question is, actually, sports or games in Olympic or anything, it means just to increase the relationship and friendship between the countries, not to win the medal. Really, people need to suffer a lot, take a pain, and have to get injuries and all. And really, they need to go and win the medal for what? When they are not happy with this?
That we have made it. We have abused every establishment of previous generation. They have started with something else. We have made the prestige issue. We have made it winning the medal, to be on the top medal tally is prestige issue for the countries. So now let me inform you, as a international sports coach, the countries are doing and facilitating all kind of dope for Olympic teams. If you are not aware of, in Atlanta Olympics, when the Chinese came to know first time that we have made the rule on the airport itself, as soon as the flights will land, we will take the samples. They have withdrawn the 300 Chinese athletes from their contingent, and वो flight उड़ी ही नहीं, वो land ही नहीं हुई. So now the society, the countries are funding all kind of dopes and everything to conquer, the medal tally. So China, आपने देखा होगा previously, Chinese or America, they were on top. So this is the fight. So when we are fighting for prestige, so they are diluting it. The purpose was of Olympic was not this. So we have diluted everyone, everything. The corporate life we have diluted. We have made everyone to run and rush for the things, for a bigger house, for the bigger car, for everything bigger, that we are torturing people. And any suicide in the society, we all are responsible for it. In some or the other form, we all are responsible. Tell me one thing. Have you ever asked and questioned telephonically, आपके बच्चे के कितने नंबर आए हैं 8th में? नहीं. When it happens on 10th and 12th, everybody from the nook and corner will call the parent, कितने नंबर आए हैं, कितने नंबर आए हैं. I am a professor in a university. It's my 30 year of career. I have never asked telephonically and telephone anyone in my family, तेरे बच्चे के कितने नंबर आए हैं. Why you ask? We have diluted our society. We have diluted the system. We have pushed our students to conquer, to achieve this much. Otherwise, what happened? Do you know a case in Delhi? The mother did the suicide. She jumped after seeing a result of her daughter in 10th class. Can you imagine? तो हमने नाक का सवाल बना लिया है हर चीज का. आप ओलंपिक की बात कर रहे हो, मैं घर से शुरू होती हूँ. We have made it a point of our nose. So that's why everybody is suffering, whether it's a sports person, whether it's a common man. So that's all wrong. That's all diluted now. That's why we need to make yoga philosophy understood by everyone. We need to come back to the yoga, because it is telling us it's how we need to live. This is a way of life, and we have lost it. We have lost it.
Yeah, thank you, madam. Greatly appreciated. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Is it